Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. This is Hunter, Riley, Steven, and Shane. Say what up, guys.
Hello, everybody.
I'm here.
What's up, nerds?
We are back doing part 2 of our Commander Grades video for Foundations Monocolored Legendaries. That's right. If you guys have already seen part 1 and the multicolored, check the links in the description below. Check out what our opinions on those, as those legendaries, there's potential commanders. But like I said, they are legendaries. We are talking them as potential commanders. If you're new here, that's what we do. We just have a discussion on if we would play them, if we think they're powerful, all our opinions. So without further ado, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because like 80% of you guys aren't subscribed. That is crazy to me. So hit
Big
that
number.
subscribe button.
Make smaller.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started with this first one. We are continuing on with the black creatures. It's Rev, Tithe Extractor. 3 and a black for a 3/3 legendary creature human rogue. It says whenever you attack, target creature gains death touch till end of turn. And whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you create a treasure token. Then look at the top card of that player's library and exile it face down. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. So we got one of those commanders that are a bit steely.
Bit steely. I don't like this ability. Someone might have to talk me into this one.
Steve, what do you think of this as a creature?
It's a good card. What do you want from me?
I want you to tell me why.
Do you like the ability of sealing people's stuff?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're seeing it more and more. I think we saw it a lot with, Mr. Foxglove and Gonti, and taking people's stuff is always fun. And then obviously you're in black, so having the ability to sacrifice that creature to go search for something or get some extra card draw is always fun. I don't like this being in mono black. I really wish this had some more colors, like red. I'd love to see this in Rakdos. But I do love the fact that it also says whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player. So this doesn't have to do any of the attacking, which sounds really great. Plus, it gives death touch.
I will
Sick.
say the thing that I absolutely hate about this card is you may cast that card, not play that card, which means if you do hit lands, you can't do anything with them. Which is
Just don't hit lands.
You will. You don't know what the top card of their opponent's library is.
My name's not Hunter. I'm not gonna get a land.
I'm not whiffing ever.
You have to rely on the treasure you get because it doesn't let you cast for any mana that you have, right? So if it's not in your color house, you're screwed. Color house? That's a good way to say that.
Color wheel.
I think that you guys are really focused on the fact that this is a potential card advantage engine. I just looked at this is a treasure producer. If I'm attacking 3 of my opponents every combat, I'm making 3 treasures, which is a pretty solid amount of ramp.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
If you connect, right? You have to connect.
Yeah, but I mean, giving one of my creatures death touch and then hopefully playing around with other little evasive things, it could potentially help out there. Yeah. I don't know. It's it's a very straightforward, it's just an engine style commander. It doesn't necessarily excel at anything, but it's also not a bad card.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. I'm just not something I'd play.
I can see the power though. It's just, yeah, I think I'm more stuck on the fact that we've Gonti, that card like Steven mentioned. I don't like that playstyle, so maybe that's why I'm kind of just down on it. But the token or the treasure is way better.
Yeah, treasure production is never bad. I mean, we've learned that very quickly with the banned cards, one that will not be named.
I mean, I don't know if it kind of makes this card worse for me, just because I do play a lot of spell table, and playing this kind of style deck where you're stealing other people's stuff online and not in person is almost impossible, and will make you never want to play this card or make other people not want to play with you, which kind of sucks. So think about that. I mean, there's other ways to play Magic, and spell table is kind of one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, that's true. I think we all said our opinions on this card. Let's go ahead and move on to the grades. We will start with Riley. Riley, what do you think of Rev?
Very middle of the road. I'm gonna go with a C.
Yeah, I'm completely in agreement with you. This is very middle of the road for me too. C.
I'm going to join around the middle of the conversation and give this a middle of the road answer, which is C.
I think I met at the middle as well. It's a C.
Now, you were at the end of that.
Damn it.
Rev, Tithe Extractor gets the average grade of a C. Next up, we have another returning legendary from just the previous set. It's Tinybones, Bauble Burglar. 1 and a black for a 1/3 legendary creature skeleton rogue. It says whenever an opponent discards a card, exile it from their graveyard with a stash counter on it. During your turn, you may play cards you don't own with stash counters on them from exile, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. You can also pay 3 a black and tap it. Each opponent discards a card, activate only as a sorcery. Look, Shane, it's more of the stealing stuff, except mana of any color.
I think Riley wants to say a few words.
Yeah, I have a very serious question about this card before we discuss anything.
Okay, okay.
Sure.
Did Tinybones always have flesh on not the head?
Yeah.
Great question.
I always thought it was a skeleton, like the full thing, not just like only the head. This is throwing me for a loop. I don't like this card.
Tinybones, look.
It's a fair question.
I think this one he's just wearing flesh.
Okay.
He's wearing flesh that he stole.
You never know.
He stashed it.
I'd play this card though,
Okay.
Hunter.
You would play this card.
I would play this card because not only does the card help you do the discarding, which is great, but obviously you're going to build around it, and discard decks are 100% a thing already, and this is just going to capitalize on the stuff your opponent discards. Not as good as, like, what's her name?
Oh,
Help me, the
that's-
bad one?
that- yeah, we're not playing Turgrid.
Grid. It's not as good as that, obviously, but this could just be more nice and fun. Plus, like you
Yeah,
said, it
this
says
is-
play, dude. You can play land now.
Exactly. This card is infinitely better than Rev already, just in the fact that you can play cards and not
Mhm.
just cast them.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like this card a lot. I've been trying to think of a good discard kind of commander. I think this fits very nicely in that niche role. I know we've got Acklazotz, also a really good commander and discard effects. And of course, Shane, you mentioned Turgrid, which is just absolutely mean.
Too
But
mean.
this is less mean. So I'm here for it.
Okay. I looked it up. All right. This is my thoughts on the card. It's very inconsistent. All right. Tinybones in the Western set had no flesh. The Tinybones original printing did have flesh, and then this one has flesh. So, like, maybe they're two different Tinybones.
Maybe it's based on the weather.
Maybe the name Tiny Bones is just like a
Ooh.
title you get. Tiny bag
Oh
of
my-
bones.
Oh my god, maybe they're different people.
What do you
You're
think of the
right.
actual card, though?
I honestly, that's all I can focus on. I don't know. To me, it's very similar to the last card that we just talked about. It doesn't have the treasure production. Obviously, this one is a little bit better whenever it comes to like the stealing and playing your opponent's things. I just don't think that these kinds of decks really do anything. Like, sure, I'm making my opponents discard cards, and that's kind of cute, but it's not really like progressing my game state. And at the same time, like, it's kind of mana intensive and a little slow for me to do that.
I don't know. I think this, given the ability not only just to, I mean, I'm gonna go back to Turgrid again, because Turgrid, every time you discard a card, you get that card. This is very similar in that way, except it's not as mean. Because a lot of the times when you have a discard effect, cool, I discarded a card. That's it. It's in the graveyard. But this allows you to take those cards. So in a way, your deck progresses with your opponent's cards.
Yeah. No, I'm still not high on Tinybones.
Steven, what do you think?
I mean, it's a cheap commander with a big butt that lets you do things that not a lot of people like.
So you were saying you might get some heat?
I mean, I don't think you care.
Everyone loves discarding cards, let me tell you.
I mean, I fill this with nothing but discard and removal.
I had mentioned to Riley before that I was kind of thinking about building a discard deck. Think I might do it with Tinybones.
Let's see
We'll
it.
see. We'll see if I open one.
You just do it, Tergrid.
It's too mean.
Too mean.
I've done
Oh,
that. It's
okay.
mean.
Yeah, no, it's mean.
Let's move on to the grades. I'll kick us off. I think I'm the highest here. Tinybones for me is actually gonna get a B
For bones?
for Bauble Burglar.
All
Hmm.
bones, yeah.
I think I'm gonna join you at a B. It's not a high B. It's like a low B.
I don't think I'm that high. I'm gonna stay at C.
I'm also going to stay at a C.
Tinybones, Bauble Burglar. That's a bunch of Bs. Gets an average grade of a B.
It's 2 Bs.
The final black card we're talking about is Zul Ashur Lich Lord. It's 1 and a black for a 2/2 legendary creature zombie warlock. It's got ward, pay 2 life. Also has the ability we can tap it. You may cast target zombie creature card from your graveyard this turn. Powerful effect, wouldn't you say, Steven?
Sure. As a support card.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's where I'm at as well with this card.
A ward is just such flavor.
Yeah,
Literally nothing.
especially in a game of Commander, paying 2
Yeah.
life is like nothing.
Unless you have 2 life.
But for a reanimation style deck, like that's most reanimation style cards are what, like 4 or 5 mana? This is, I guess you have to
You'd
cast
have
the
to.
card again.
I was gonna say you still have to cast
Yeah,
whatever
that's
it
true.
is you're targeting, and it's only zombies.
Well, you're
Yeah,
obviously gonna play a
it's
zombie deck.
yeah, but you know what zombies are typically really good at?
Dying.
Reanimation.
Coming back from the graveyard.
True. True.
So like, does this do anything that the Kindred actually wants or like needs? Because it's something that they already have a ton of support for.
Nah, you're right. It's probably a support card.
Maybe. I feel like it's like Steven, going back to the beginning point, it is a great support piece in a deck like Will Health, for example. Wouldn't you say, Steven?
Already ordered this.
Like that card, like that deck needs any help.
Already ordered it. Yeah, just extra bring your zombie that might have died back.
True.
That's good. But as a commander, we are talking commander grades,
Yeah.
not good.
Nope.
So let's move on to those grades themselves. I will start us. Azul Ashur gets a D as a commander.
I still think it's kind of fun. So I will go up to a C.
I'm a little torn. I'm gonna give this card the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say because of how like much I'm probably never gonna target this thing, because I just don't think it's a threat. I'm gonna give this a C.
A.
I want to give it a C, but I'm still thinking it's down at a D for me. Still a support card.
Azul Ashur gets the average grade of a C. Moving on to the mono red cards, we have Anep, Vizier of Hazoret. It's 2 and a red for a 4/2 legendary creature, Jackal Warrior. It's got trample, and it says that you may exert it as it attacks. When you do, exile the top 2 cards of your library till end of your next turn. You may play those cards.
I don't feel like this does enough to be my commander.
Nope.
Is that a good effect? I mean, it's card advantage, but you don't get your commander back for
Yeah.
a full turn cycle.
This goes in a deck for sure. This is not Helm a deck.
I don't think
This-
it goes in a deck.
Why not?
This goes in the bin. This has 2 toughness. You're not getting your commander back, and you can always exert it because it's dying in combat.
That's
Well,
probably true. At least it has trample.
It's a jumpstart card. We know.
This is a jumpstart one. Yeah, I don't know. Steven, do you have anything else to add?
Steven loves this card.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we haven't talked about, and I'll be honest with you guys, okay? We haven't said bad card bad. So,
Oh. You gonna say it?
So say it.
bad card bad.
All right.
Cool. Let's move on
Yep.
to the grades. We will start with Steven.
F.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
an F.
I'm giving it an F as well.
F all around.
Anep starts with an A, but gets the average grade of an F. Moving on to Cleon, Merry Champion. 2 and a red for a 2/2 legendary creature, human soldier. It's got double strike and it has heroic, which means whenever you cast a spell that targets Cleon, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until end of your next turn. Very similar to the last card, except better.
Yeah,
Much.
I like it more.
It's actually much better.
The double
Yeah,
striker
it's-
too.
This is way better. This is capable of dealing a lot of surprise damage and also just like fueling the strategy of the deck.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because heroic, it's like that's gonna spiral out of control. A snowball is what the word I was looking for. It's gonna snowball out of control because target this with a 1 mana red spell to pump it up. Exile another card. Oh, it's a 1 mana red spell. Target it again. Oh, it's a 1 mana red spell.
Mhm.
Let's keep going. It's got double strike. This might kill somebody in one shot.
The possibility is definitely there. I like it. It's almost a bear. It's not a bear though.
Nope.
Not even close.
This
What do
card,
you mean not
however, is also one of those where it's like, if I attack with this and then I do the whole like, let me cast like 3 quick pump spell style of effects on this, and then my opponent kills this, I
Yeah, that feels
am
bad.
Yeah, I'm suddenly like from a position of potentially being able to one-shot somebody to a like, uh-oh, I'm in panic, total rebuild, absolutely nothing on my board.
Well, the other bonus part about this card is that it says you may play that card until the end of your next turn, which
That's true.
is one of my favorite texts in all of Magic because I hate those effects that can only play until end of turn. Till your next turn gives you that extra flexibility.
Yep.
Very
Sure.
true.
And it's a play, too. So if you do hit land, play land on as a land drop for your next turn.
You won't miss your land drop.
Let's move on to the grades. Steven, what are you getting, Cleon?
D.
Wow, I am not that low at all. I am going to go up to a B. I think it's very good.
I'm actually going to join Steven because of how fragile this is. I'm going to give it a
Yeah.
D.
Yikes, Hunter. Hey, I believe in you, Hunter. Nah, I'm gonna give it a C.
That's fair. Cleon, Merry Champion, gets the average grade of a C. Moving on to General Kreat, the Boltbringer. 2 and a red for a 2/2 legendary creature goblin soldier. It says whenever one or more goblins you control attack, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. And whenever another creature you control enters, General Kreat, the Boltbringer, deals 1 damage to each opponent. Love that word, each. What do you
Do love
think
that
about
word.
this card, Riley?
You know, I used to have a goblin deck and I was thinking about putting it back together, and I think this might be a sign.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is a sign.
Goblins are already really good at like kind of getting out of control and making a ton of them. So this producing even more is awesome. And then whenever it does produce more, it hurts all of your opponents. This is mean.
Yeah.
The fact that it's not like whenever one or more, that's crazy.
It says whenever one or more.
That's the first
The
word
first
on the
sentence.
card.
No, whenever another creature you control enters.
Okay,
That's
Oh,
what I'm saying.
gotcha.
That's
Talk
the
about the
part
impact
that,
tremors effect.
yeah, that's insane.
We've seen it before. You're gonna throw in impact tremor effects into this deck on top of that. So it's this card is. I mean, goblins make a bunch of them, do a bunch of damage. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but my issue is, there are, well, two maybe, but I'll say there's one choice when you build a goblin deck, and it's Krenko. But obviously, when you play a Krenko style deck, everyone at the table's like, oh, they don't want to play with you. This could be a way to build a lower power goblin deck, which seems fun. I don't want to do it. I want to build Krenko. But
Well, maybe
that's
this is
just
a
me.
sneaky Krenko.
Fun
This
fact: if you opened this pack in a jumpstart pack, Krenko is in that same pack.
This also, though, has like a passive, whereas Krenko doesn't. Krenko has to be able to tap to do literally anything. And because of the amount of hate that Krenko brings, it almost always dies immediately.
That's true.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. General Kreat's very cool.
I kind of like it too.
I don't know. The way I built my Krenko deck, it's not. I don't want to get into it.
Let's
I
move
always have
on
protection.
to the grades. I don't know. I'm gonna kick us off with the grades here. Boltbringer for me is getting a B because I think an impact tremors in the command zone is very powerful.
I'm gonna go one below. I'm gonna go to a C. Like impact tremors in the command zone, but if I could just run it in my deck, I think that's fine. And there's tons of other effects that do the same thing. I'm not there.
I'm going to give it a B.
I as well. Am I gonna give it a B?
General Kreat, the Boltbringer, gets the average grade of a B.
For Boblin,
Moving on to Gornog, the Red Reaper. It's 2 and a red for a 2/3 legendary creature, Minotaur Warrior. It's got haste and it says cowards can't block warriors. It also says whenever one or more warriors you control attack a player, target creature that player controls becomes a coward. And attacking warriors you control get +X+0, where X is the number of cowards your opponents control. Cowards.
This
Seems
is
like a
so
deck.
cool.
I was about to say it seems like a deck Riley would build.
I love this so much. So this is I just think that this is really fascinating. It pumps itself, it gets in very quickly and aggressively. Also, like I don't know. Like you don't even necessarily like need this. You could just like attack with another warrior if you wanted to go with like a warrior matters deck. And then the bottom text there, that's gonna pump up your entire team so long as those are attacking warriors. So that's potentially a lot of damage. Plus, this is gonna be like the bane of my my Omo deck's existence because they're all cowards.
Yeah, everything's a coward. I think this deck's a lot of fun. Like you said, I can't really add any more than cowards. Just keep making cowards and keep pumping this up.
Reminiscent of the Nelly and inspecting. I mean, obviously, goading is a lot different, but you make things cowards now and they can't block you. Pretty good.
Suspecting.
Yeah, you
Point.
suspect them and make them. What did I say?
Inspecting.
Inspector Gadget. Whatever. You're right.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and move on to the grades. I think we're all on board with Gornog. Kick us off, Riley.
I love this card so much, but I think it's no. I'm going with my heart. It's a B.
I love when you go with your
Yeah,
heart.
I'm going with my heart too, but my heart still says it's a C.
What does Steven's heart
My
say?
heart. Yeah, my heart says C for sure.
My heart says you're a coward, and it's a B.
Gornog, the Red Reaper, gets the average grade of a B. Moving on to Ivora, Insatiable Heir, 1 and a red for a 1/1 legendary creature vampire warrior. It's got trample, and when it enters and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you make a blood token. And whenever you discard a card, you put a counter on Ivora. I thought blood was not coming back.
I don't know if I like this as my commander.
No,
No.
it's a 1/1 with trample.
I mean, there's a world where you can pump it and make it big, but
Sure, you just got to discard your stuff.
yeah, and you can play Madness. Madness is a thing.
Hmm.
It's just a lot to build around.
It's not good.
Yeah, I'm trying. Sorry.
There's nothing to try, man. It's okay.
Unless Riley talks it up.
Is that? Come on.
There
I'm
are
not
a
gonna do
lot.
it.
There are a lot of cards that you can like potentially wheel in red, or just like discard a lot of cards if you're looking for a commander that like I don't know can take advantage of a burning inquiry. This is great. It's swinging it as a 4/4, and all you had to do was just put 1 mana into it. It's gonna die. It's gonna be a 4 mana 1/1 that's not relevant. But like this can get really big really fast. Also, this pairs wonderfully with my favorite card in all of Magic, Faithless Looting, so I
There you
can't hate
go.
this.
There you go.
I'm still not here for it. You could talk it up, but nope. It just gets counters and makes blood. That's all it does.
You're not wrong.
Let's move on to the grades. You seem the highest, Riley. Let's hear it.
I'm gonna give it a D.
Yep. I knew you were gonna do that because I'm there at a D as well.
Yep.
Me too.
And I knew you guys were gonna do that, so I gave this an F.
Solid.
Ivora, Insatiable Heir, gets the average grade of a D. Moving on to a familiar face. I thought he was gone for good, but welcome back. Kellan, Planar Trailblazer, is 1 red mana for a 2/1 legendary creature human fairy scout. Has an ability to pay 1 and a red. If Kellan is a scout, it becomes a human fairy detective. End games, whenever Kellan deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. For 2 and a red, if Kellan is a detective, it becomes a 3/2 human fairy rogue and gains double strike.
Poor
Yep.
Kellan.
Kellan is not good.
He could go
Flavor
well in a
wise,
deck.
very cool. He came from Wilds of Eldraine, right, as a fairy, and then he went to Ixalan, became a scout, and then he went to Murders Karlov, became a detective, and then from there he went to Thunder Junction, and that's the last time we saw him, and he was a rogue.
Cool.
So flavor-wise,
He's all of
thumb
them.
Oh, good job, Wizards.
I don't like this card though.
I will say this real quick. Saffron Olive, a couple days ago, actually said something that I thought was pretty funny about Kellan. He said, "Is Kellan the least powerful character in Magic? We get one every set, but somehow they're never managed to be playable."
Who said that?
Saffron Olive. Better
I
known as
don't.
Seth.
There we go. Okay.
Stupid.
I agree, though. I feel like every Kellan, not great.
Yeah, this is no exception.
I will disagree with that. Wasn't the Simic Kellan? I think the Simic Kellan was sick.
Did you play it?
Yeah.
I mean, you could play it. He like ramped you, and then yeah, he's pretty cool.
I mean, he ramps you, and then when he swings as a flyer and a 3/4, he destroys a target artifact.
Hey, Steven, you know how I know this card is good? It's the fact that we're not even talking about it right now.
Yeah. Back onto this Kellan. Riley, I think you're in agreement here. It's bad.
Am I?
Okay.
Here we go.
Let's hear it.
So I think that this is one of those cards that, like, on the surface, it looks incredibly mana intensive, and it doesn't really look like it has a big enough payout. If you do manage to get this thing online, though, or you do have it leveled up to be a fairy rogue human detective, that's 6 damage and 2 cards per turn.
If
I-
it connects.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying, like, dealing 6 damage and getting 2 extra cards on turn 3 doesn't sound like a terrible rate for me, because people, for the most part, are still going to be like setting up. You're going to pressure them, and then this is going to die, and then you're going to fade into obscurity, as you're never going to do anything with this card ever
Did you say
again.
on
But
turn 3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Well, it's,
Turn 1, play this. Turn 2, level it. Turn 3, level it. I guess.
well,
That
yeah.
means
That's
you're
Yeah.
not doing anything else with your mana. You're not
I mean,
setting up the rest of your board.
let's be real.
And it has the line of text that I said in the previous cards that I hate.
End
You
of
only
turn.
play that card this turn.
Oh, what?
Yeah, but it's mono red, so like, what else are you doing in the first 3 turns?
Yeah, nothing.
Listen,
Land pass.
Exiling 2 cards.
this card is so good because we're going to be playing in a pod. Okay, let's imagine Christmas Land here.
Okay, I'm closing my eyes.
We're the 4th person to go,
Mhm.
and everyone else has played Rite of Flame. And then we cast Rite of Flame, and we get all the mana because of all of the other Rite of Flames
Okay.
that are in the graveyards.
I'm ready to
What a-
move on.
Yeah, what we're talking about this card way too much. Let's move on. Let's move on to the grades. I will kick us off. This is an F for me.
F.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's an F.
You talked it up so high, it's an F.
Kellan Planar Trailblazer gets the average grade of an F. Moving on to the mono green cards, the final cards we're talking about. It's Braulios of Fear's Band, 3 and 2 green for a star legendary creature, Centaur Scout. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control, and whenever it attacks, draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. That's a powerful effect, but for 5 mana, is it worth it?
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I don't think the answer is yes.
I feel like this was the card that they handed to the intern, and like they didn't tell anybody like what this was supposed to do or like who this was or anything. They were just like, "We've got a green legendary creature. Make it do green."
Yep.
Okay, lands.
I mean, that top path we've seen on a billion things. That's good.
Listen, when I was reading this card with Hunter
Just
about
now.
10
Okay.
seconds ago,
Okay.
Okay.
I was
Love it.
like, man, this is Foundations.
Not wrong.
Okay, so this technically it's going to grow a lot, right? And
Not
then
technically, it grows, yeah.
late game, it's going to be huge.
Yep. And then it gets
Um,
blocked by 1/1.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're in green here. You have trample
Oh,
effects.
obviously we're gonna
But-
get trample. Got it.
But that's my point, I think. And my argument here is like, I usually always talk up the green cards. I don't care how much they die. I could always recast them because I'm in green. This does help the fact that you could do that. You could put the land card from your hand on the battlefield. You can give this trample. There's fight effects. But like I don't know. I think this is the one time I hate it.
I don't completely hate it. I
As
think
a commander, definitely, Hunter. Come on.
no, I don't actually. I
Hmm.
mean, 5 mana. You're in green. You're going to be bringing this out multiple times. You're going to have enough mana, and that mana translates to the power and toughness. So that's not going to change. It's only going to go up. And then when you have enough, this is card draw on top of that too. I like that.
And you're gonna cry when somebody plays Destroy All Lands.
I feel like this is the card equivalent of like a bodybuilder diet. You have chicken breast, You have brown rice and maybe like broccoli. It's like, will it do the job? Yes. But does anybody actually want to eat that? No.
No,
I don't even want to meal prep it.
that was a great analogy.
Thank
Move on
you.
to the grades. Braulios, I feel like I'm high, but I'm still gonna be middle of the road. It's a C for me.
You just said you're high and you gave it a C.
I'm gonna give this card a C too. Like it does green. It's just
does
not
green.
very interesting.
On the basis of a new player coming into Magic, I will give this a C. As somebody who wants to build something more fun, this is, in my opinion, a D.
Well, you're gonna get a C.
I know.
I'll give it a D for you though. I just think it's meh.
Braulios of Fierce Band gets the average grade of a C. Moving on to a new elf, it's Dionus, Elvish Archdruid, 3 and a green for a 3/3 legendary creature elf druid. It says elves you control have, whenever this creature becomes tapped during your turn, untap it and put a +1/+1 counter on it. Ability triggers only once each turn.
Damn, so close. Once
I
each
wouldn't even say
turn?
that.
Because the once
would-
each turn, dude.
That would be so
I know, I
broken.
wanted it to break
would-
because that'd be insane,
this-
dude.
Mana dork. Mana dork.
I was gonna
Mana
say
dork.
this would like
Mana dork.
literally any elf just goes infinite.
I
Is that
love
what
it.
you're looking for?
I guess they learned
Exactly.
from Nadu.
Infinite counters, infinite mana for just an elvish mystic.
This is
Cool.
a dope elf.
This is a good elf. This is a good one. It's probably just going to be a really good elf in Elf Ball that already exists. Just basically, every time you swing in with your team, you just have vigilance and they all get bigger. That's cool.
Yeah. Or you get to tap and then swing. I mean,
This
mana
doesn't-
dorks.
This doesn't even require though that you attack. You can tap it, float mana.
Yeah.
It'll untap, and then you tap it, float more mana.
I know.
This is nutty.
It's real good. I like this card a lot, actually.
It is true. That's very.
I don't have an
very
elf
good
deck.
point.
Maybe I should have an elf deck.
You may make a lot of green mana.
Yeah, you can.
Well,
Mhm.
as someone with a Lathril deck,
That's a good card.
this is a support card for me.
Hmm.
It is a support card. Yeah. I think it's very good. I think we're all on board here. I think we see all the potential. So let's move on to the grades. We will start with you, Shane.
Am I the highest? I don't know. I think it's a B. I think it's really good.
I'm going to agree with you. I think it's a B as well.
You know what? I think I'm gonna give this a B. I've been thinking like this is so restrictive, obviously with elves, but elf ball's really big, and I think to myself like, what's like the quintessential elf commander that's mono green? And I go back to Marwyn, and I think that this is I think I would rather play this than Marwyn, which I know sounds crazy, but I think this is way better.
Interesting that you go with Marwyn on that. I'm gonna give this a B.
Yeah, well, Dionys Elvish Archdruid gets the average grade of a B. Look who's back. It's the cute merchandise seller Loot. Exuberant Explorer. 2 and a green for a 1/4. It's a legendary creature, Beast Noble. It says you may play an additional land on each of your turns. It also has another ability. You can pay 4 and 2 green, tap it. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with a mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from among them and put it onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. That's a really good effect.
Hope you hit something good.
I think you will if you're tapping it for 6.
Well, you might be tapping it for 6, but you might not have 6 lands.
I think with the play additional land of each of your turns is real good.
How do
Green has a
you-
hard time with that.
Like this is one of those cards where it's like on like just looking at the words printed on this. Yes, obviously I will admit like it reads really strong, but I think this is actually kind of deceptive. How do you build this deck?
Landfall.
I don't know if you're playing landfall.
I'm 100% playing landfall.
I mean, I guess you could.
Big
I
stompy.
mean, landfall, big stompy creatures. Like, I mean, this is great. I even think that if you did like landfall and sprinkled in Eldrazi, you're having a ball, dude.
See, and that's kind of where I'm getting with this is that like I feel like just like looking at the card, a lot of people are going to be drawn to like let's play Big Stompy, let's throw in the Eldrazi, these like 10 mana creatures that are incredibly difficult to normally get into play because you can potentially cheat them here. But there is that restriction of like if I on turn 6, saying that I have 6 lands, if I use this ability and I reveal Eldrazi and Cultivate and a couple lands or something like that, I've just whiffed and invested 6 mana in it. Or what happens whenever I have that hand and then like the one creature that I can actually like get into play is like an Arbor Elf or something like that, like a support piece.
Yeah.
It's fine. Still a free card.
It's
Granted, you just paid 6 for 1 mana
Yeah.
spell. I get that.
yeah. So to me, is like, is it free? No, it's you're way over investing on that.
True. I just the whiff potential. I think this is a worse version of the deck that you're currently running, Shane, which is Kona. Kona, whenever it's tapped, you just drop something from your hand, no
Oh
matter
yeah,
what.
dude. Because that you can
Um,
literally play your Eldrazi, just turn 3 or 4 that you play your commander. Like it's, yeah, the whiff potential here is nuts. And then, like Riley said, having to have the mana, it's like you're not really cheating anything because you have to have the mana to have the thing.
But you do the thing quick because of the ability to drop an additional land on each turn.
That's true.
right?
So you'll get to there a little quicker.
I don't know. I like it.
I think that's kind of like where my hangup is. I mean, Steven immediately jumped to like landfall, and like that's kind of what I think this card is going to excel at as well, with being able to play an additional land. But that's not something that's necessarily like unique to this. And I don't even know if this is like really all that good at the helm of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or loot.
Well, let's move on to the grades then. We will kick it off with you, Riley.
I'm gonna go with a C. It's still a cool card, but I don't think I'm wowed.
Yeah, I don't think I can go higher than a C either.
It's a shame. It's a B.
Wow. I'm over here thinking I want to give it a D, but I guess I'll give it a C.
Loot, Exuberant, Explorer. It's the average grade of a C. Moving on to Shroofus Sproutsire. It's 2 and a green for a 1/1 legendary creature sapperling. It's got trample. It says whenever a sapperling you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green sapperling creature tokens. I love this card so much. So much. If you guys haven't already seen it, there is a deck tech. I built this completely. Link in the description. Go check it out. This snowballs so fast.
You don't
Just
say.
any kind of pump effect that just gives any sapperling. So if you have two sapperlings, they deal combat damage. Now you have 4 more sapperlings that are also 2/2s. That's it. It just gets so insanely wide so quickly.
Exponentially.
Mhm.
I really don't know what to say against this card, dude. Like, you're just gonna go wide, like you said, and you're gonna get board wiped, and then you're gonna do it again, and you're gonna get board wiped, and you're gonna do it again.
Super easy to build back up. Yeah.
Dumb.
I'm curious though regarding the build backup because that's kind of where my hang up is with this card. Like, so say the board wipe happens, and then what is the game plan from there?
Build it back.
Okay, be a little bit more specific for me, please.
Play this card again. Attack. Build back.
Yeah, but like, okay, if you spend the next turn getting this back into play, as I'm assuming that you probably will, it means you're not attacking with it. This thing doesn't have haste, and then whenever you are capable of attacking with it the following turn, it is a 1/1. It will die to literally any blocker. So, realistically speaking, I don't see this actually being all that successful at building back up.
I disagree because unless you're getting farewelled and they're destroying all of your enchantments and everything that you've built onto the board, you're still going to have a bunch of pump effects and stuff. So once Shroofus comes back, it can come back as a 4/4. You got enough pump effects. It's pretty awesome.
We'll have to see it
Maybe
in
I
action.
maybe I just need to see more of this card.
Yeah, I'll build it. I'll bring it. See if I can open it.
You just buy the single.
Yeah, that'd be probably
We'll
smart,
see.
right?
We'll see. Stay tuned on the channel. See if I opened it. I love this card. I think it's awesome.
I know you do. I'll give it to you.
Are we done? Are we moving on to the grades?
I don't know.
I
Steven,
think so.
is Steven saying something?
Oh.
or-
No, I mean you guys pretty much said everything. I mean the
Okay.
card gets out of hand. It's basically, I think maybe that's why Hunter likes it so much. It's Scoot Swarm that cares about combat damage and counters.
That's right.
Line him up.
Sign me up. Tokens.
I mean, I hated this card when it first got shown. I wasn't thrilled about it whatsoever. I did the thing where I watched the deck tech that somebody made on our channel, and it's pretty damn good. I will say I have one question,
Mhm.
and Hunter, you have to answer this truthfully, and this will affect my grade.
Okay.
Have you said its name the same way every single time you said it?
Shroofus Sproutsire. I have.
All right, I'm ready for my grade.
Let's move on to the grades. I'll kick us off. This is an A for me. Hands down.
Hands up. This is an A from me.
Wow.
Here we go. We're converting them.
I'm not there. I'm gonna give this a C. I think I need to see more of this in action.
You also haven't converted me, but I understand that it's strong-ish. I'll give it a B.
Shroofus Sproutsire gets the average grade of a B.
I was waiting for you to slip up there. I was about to go down.
And the final card we're talking about today is Sutina, Speaker of the Tajuru. It's 2 and a green for a 2/2 legendary creature elf scout. It says when it enters, search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. And whenever it attacks, you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. When you do, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature.
What a way to end the video.
Doesn't say support
In
question
what,
mark.
in what world are you trying to put lands back in your... I guess, okay, here is your landfall deck, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Say it's a landfall trigger every
Yeah.
time, putting it back in your hand.
But my goodness, backwards tempo.
I mean, I'm trying really hard.
I can see the wheel spinning.
Like,
I think it's pretty good.
I think the answer is still just no.
I don't know.
You think
The
it's good? Like,
I mean, I think you're playing this card not on turn 3, but later down the road. You're building up your board. You're putting all your landfall cards in. You drop this later, and then you can start attacking with it. You're just continuously getting those landfall triggers.
you
Put
know
the
what?
counters on this creature.
You know what else would be really good? If you just like played Magic and had any form of draw engine where you just like, drew a land and played the land for the turn.
yeah. This, once you play this commander, you're not really, unless you're having 2 lands per turn, you're not going forward anymore. That's not good.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to talk it up.
I was trying to think like what lands do I want to play multiple times, but I'm struggling with that. My only thought here was like, oh man, I needed to Besage You that I played as a land and then I can get it back to discard it.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry. It's not great. All right.
Hey, maybe Steven likes it.
I'm trying. I'm failing.
All right, Steven, let's just move on to the grades. You don't
Yeah.
have to. We'll
don't wanna
start
break
with you,
our
though.
brains.
What grade are you giving it?
I'm just gonna give this an F. I don't even want to put any brain effort into it.
I think it does something, so it's getting a D from me.
It does it badly.
You still,
It's an F. I can't.
I want to say that it does something, but it's like, you're not making progress. It's an F.
Well, Sutina, I tried. Sutina, Speaker of the Tajuru, gets the average grade of an F. And that is going to do it for us today. If you guys liked that video, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel because, like I said in the beginning, 80% of you guys aren't subscribed. Why? I don't get it. Comment down below. Do you guys agree with these grades? Maybe we missed something completely, and always interested to hear your guys' opinions. Check the description for links to those other grade videos that you haven't already seen. Right there. Monocolored part 1, multicolored, also there. In the description, you will also find links to all of our social media accounts, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, @GuysThatMatter for each one. And on the screen right now, those are all of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your added support. It really does mean the world to us. If you guys wanted to check out what they are seeing, which is not here on YouTube, check the link also in the description and consider subscribing. And until the next video, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.